The NFL draft is just a little over 3 weeks away, and things keep on cooking in Titans world about who we're taking and what we're doing with that pick. And as always, we're going to bring all our thoughts and more on all topics Titans. So let's start it up. Shane, you know the drill. Let's do it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them in what has been a magical season to this point? Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. Joined as always by my counterpart, Jarrett. Eventually, at some point, we will have the three of us all together again. It'll be sooner than later. Don't worry. Mostly my fault because of work. But anyway, Jarrett, how are we doing today, my man?
Pretty good, man. Sun's shining. Weather's getting warm over here in Jersey. You know what that means. You know, like baseball season's here. Golf season's around the corner. So it's a happy time right now with draft season around the corner.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're a little over 3 weeks away. I for some reason, I thought it was a little bit shorter than that. But I'm sure, we'll be doing our pre-draft pod, and it'll feel like it's going to be in the blink of an eye. But, as always, the talks are continuing about what this team is going to do with the number one slot. And as we mentioned on shows prior, like I've said and you said, our options at quarterback are getting slimmer and slimmer by the day. Outside of Aaron Rodgers, there's next to nobody available that would be somewhat of a starting caliber quarterback. So as I've mentioned before, and I'm sure you can attest to it, it's pretty much Cam or Will, right? I don't see how there's any other options that are available at this point. I don't think they're going to be looking for Brandon Allen to be starting this year. So it's got to be one or the other. No.
I definitely feel for you. I feel with you on that because it has to be at this point because I don't know what they're going to do with Will Levis. They say they're going to keep him. And we have a quote from Jordan. Can you throw that up there really quick? So I see him in the facility all the time working hard. Everybody knows he's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He's going to leave it and give everything he has. We're going to continue to work with Will Levis. To me, that's kind of – I don't know if that's telling or they're throwing smoke signs up there that's saying there's false reports that they're trying to move him and trade him. Sal, if we draft Cam Ward at 1, there's 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Why are we keeping 4 quarterbacks if we're keeping Brandon Allen to help Cam Ward understand the system, the Brian Callahan system right away? Okay, cool. But what's the 4 quarterbacks in camp or OTAs, unless they're going to cut one? Like I said, I saw you said it. Me and Vinny touched on it last week about trading maybe Will Levis to Dallas or even the Steelers. I would like that, just get a pick, give the kid a chance somewhere else, because clearly Chad Brinker said this past actually a couple days ago, because they're at the owners meeting right now in Florida, that he said that it's priceless getting a franchise quarterback. Yeah. So in that terms, the way they're talking about it, it's Cam Ward all the way. And I don't see anything different.
Yeah, again, I don't know. He's not going to cost you anything to keep. If you don't think he's going to be the guy long term, I still don't see why it wouldn't make the most sense to just sign one of those 2 scrubs you brought in and let Levis be the backup.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You got to think there's some other plan involved. Now, they could easily just cut either of these 2.
Tim Boyle, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tim Boyle, what was his? He might not even be making $1 million this year. So they could cut these guys at any moment. But, again, there's next to no options. It would really be confusing, I think, to a lot of fans and the media and everyone involved if they decided to, out of nowhere, just kind of go, hey, listen, we think Levis is still a guy and we want to give him another opportunity. I just, I hate to say that.
And draft Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I hate to say that I wouldn't be pretty pissed if they did that, because, again, as all these other quarterbacks before him, but really especially him, Yeah, I've always liked the kid, and I've always wanted him to be the guy, and it just he's done way too much for me to continue to support him strongly at least. But I really wouldn't be pissed if that's what they said. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think Cam is the guy that you need to take a shot on. He has the intangibles that Levis, that to this point, doesn't have. And that's what I want to do. But keep the fucking kid as one of the better backups in the NFL. I mean, he would be.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, unless they have a team already in place that's just making sure they can logistically send us what they want to send us, and then they're going to do it. I don't know why they're being so secretive about what their plan is. They should they hold all the cards, so it doesn't make sense unless they're trying to ploy someone to give up more. There's really no point, but time will tell.
I mean, what you said is true, because even today there was a report that Borgonzi and Joe Shane from the Giants were having coffee in a break room, talking possibly draft. I don't know. I mean, 1 and 3, it's still up in the air. The Giants want to part ways with 3 first-round draft picks. I don't know. It's pretty scary time because we don't know. We keep hearing that, we're pretty close to the decision what we want to do. And then you hear, it was great workout privately with Cam Ward this past week. And now they're going to Shedeur Sanders. They have Shedeur Sanders Pro Day and Travis Hunter's Pro Day on Friday, but they're not attending it in person. They're just attending the private workout. So what does that have to say? With their ability and their thinking process of, do they really care that much about Shedeur Sanders, or are they really locked in on Cam Ward?
I mean, listen, a week ago you would have heard me say something along the lines of, if the Giants offer you 3 first-rounders, or maybe I should say, 2 first-rounders and then a swap from 1 to 3, you got to be all over that. But at the end of the day, they could give us 7 first-rounders. If Cam Ward is a generational quarterback that's going to be on the football team that drafts him for the next 15 years and gives you 2 Super Bowls, there's no amount of picks that are going to be worth it. Mm-hmm. So you got to do all the due diligence you can. Make sure he is a guy that you believe is a franchise quarterback, and you just fucking take him. It's just you have to do it. It seems too easy. But again, you can't put aside the fact that this team has a huge hole in both positions that are supposed to be the 2 and 3 pick. So ironically enough, that's going to bring up some conversation about whether or not they should attack either of those 2, because those guys could be argued are better at that position. But it doesn't change the fact that this kid Cam Ward, again, you don't throw what is it, 40? How many touchdowns did he have
in total?
Yeah,
in his career, 156.
No, but didn't he break his single season record?
He broke the NCAA record for most touchdowns, 156. But even last year, he threw for over 35 touchdowns. He had over 4,000 yards, but he had a 5-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
and again, I said this over and over again. You can't teach having that level of comfort in the pocket where things never seem to move too fast for you, to not at least want to find out if it translates to the NFL level, because if it does, then you're looking at Patrick Mahomes, because, I'm saying this lightly, because he also is known for being as calm, cool, and collective in the pocket as any quarterback in the NFL. That's why he is the best in the NFL right now. And there's never a pressure situation that makes him look flustered. And that's the quarterback that every team in the NFL should want. You can have all the talent in the world. If you get flustered in the pocket when the pressure comes, it means nothing. And this kid seems to be able to do that with flying colors. So there's just nowhere else to go.
It's funny you said that, because we had Darryl Colbert, the quarterback's coach for Cam Ward, and Shedeur Sanders on last week.
Yeah.
And Vinny asked him about a pro comp, and he said style-wise, Cam Ward, he got roasted, is Patrick Mahomes. I had it on paper that before even the show, I wrote play style, not ceiling. Play style is Patrick Mahomes. He's calm in the pocket. He has that sidearm throw because he plays baseball. Patrick Mahomes played baseball, so they have that mobility to do that and extending plays. We haven't had that in the quarterback position, like you said. We haven't had it with Ryan Tannehill, barely with his legs. Will Levis fumbling the ball with the turnovers constantly, making stupid throws and turning into turnovers. So Cam Ward is very calm. The only thing that he has to work on security wise is holding on to the football because he had a couple fumbles, when he was scrambling and getting sacked. But still, that's like that comp. It doesn't go light. It doesn't go lightly either. Because like I said, people say, "Oh my God, how can this podcast and this quarterbacks coach compare him to one of the all-time greats right now already in Patrick Mahomes?" It's not. It's style.
Yeah.
We're not saying that the kid's not going to go out into the football field and he's going to turn into Patrick Mahomes day one like this. It's not going to happen.
You can make the argument that Kyler Murray has also a style of play like Patrick Mahomes where he's very patient in the pocket and, he'll wait till the very end before he tries to escape. But that doesn't mean that they're in the same league. They're not. So that's what I meant. And I'm sure most of you that are watching this will understand what we mean. Yep. But, that's it. It seems like too good to be, just you can't miss. You're not going to upset anyone in the fan base, which does matter. People don't tend not to realize that. Like you want to make the people that you're hoping go to your games pretty happy. And it seems that most of the people, if nothing else, they want another quarterback. They might be in love with Shedeur Sanders, but at least they're going to be excited to get a player of the position that of need that is of the highest right now. So they're going to come on. They're going to get on board pretty quickly, just like all the people that hated Levis after that first game. They were like, all right, okay. Now it all fell apart, but obviously they turned around pretty quick. So it'll all turn around once this guy gets here, if he's as good as we think he'll be.
Before we get into this Borgonzi clip with Kay Adams, I just want to ask you, would you be shocked now as a fan that they went to the pro day in Miami, had the private workout right away, obviously, took him to dinner. I'm sure they're going to do the same thing with Shedeur Sanders, but they're not attending his pro day, right? They're just holding that private workout. Would it be surprising to you as a Titans fan that we're on the clock 101 on draft night and they pull the trigger on Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, I would be floored.
Yeah, but would that shock you?
Yes.
Everyone's saying that Cam Ward's the pick, Cam Ward's the lock. What does Shedeur Sanders now, because he's getting the hype of the media attention, saying he's falling, his attitude, his antics, his father, this, that, and the third. But really, deep down inside, the kid's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's deadly accuracy in the pocket. And he's won games. He was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in college football last year with 62. And he got the ball down the field to, Joe Horn and Travis Hunter and everybody else over there. So, I mean, Jimmy Horn. But would that shock you? Because I think it would kind of shock me, just the simple fact that you're doing so much homework. You fly down to Miami. Do you really want to get a better look at Cam Ward? Do you have that good look and impression on Shedeur Sanders that you're not going in person in pro day and you just want to take it as the private workout? To me, that's a shock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't say it any more blunt. I would be absolutely shocked if they took him. Now, I've been on record saying for a while now, I think they're both going to be very good. I don't know why Giant fans are so hell-bent on not taking him. I think they should want him too, as much as they want Cam Ward. I think he's going to be a solid option, but I don't think that's an option now because you went ahead and got two veterans that are looking to get starting time. So it looks like they're definitely going to be out on Sanders unless they want to be the dumbest franchise on earth and have three starting caliber quarterbacks in their room and two of them about to be over the edge. But my point being, I would be stunned because everything seems to be pointing in the direction of Cam Ward, including all the analysts and this, that, and the third. So I would be a little upset as well because I'm all on board with Cam as well. But of course, as always, I would always come around because at the end of the day, you dangle a new quarterback in your face. You're always gonna come around, just like you and Vin were just really off on Levis. And at a certain point, he eventually turned you around and you got on board.
You had to draft night, like I
Yeah.
said. You want to go back and clip the video. I was pissed off about Will Levis. I said he had to be a Tom Brady, yes, for me to love him. But then OTAs start coming around, training camps start coming around. I was the person on the podcast that said, "Is it Tom Brady? Yes, that he takes the quarterbacks. I mean, takes the wide receivers out on vacation, shows initiatives,
We were
and looks
drooling.
good. Yeah, it looks fantastic. But then the product on the field comes Sunday. We have all as Titan fans. We have all. How do I say? We have every ambition to say that this kid is not good.
I don't
And
know
we
why
wanna
I
move
did
on.
this. I don't know why I did this, but I was in the mood to feel pain the other night, and I decided I was going to rewatch the highlights of the Titan Bear opening game.
Oh my God.
And that first half, I blocked a lot of it out. I did a great job. I don't know how I wasn't booking Super Bowl tickets after that first half. I mean, they were just everything. He looked like he had been in the league for a decade. Everything was going. The defense was flying. Pollard was just hitting and then he just flicked it away. He just flicked the game away, and that was it. And they collapsed, and they never looked back, and that was it. It really set in stone for me that we got to take another chance. As much as I love Levis,
Have to.
you got to give someone a chance that's not going to do that, because you look around the league and there's a dozen first or second year quarterbacks in the league that would never even think to do that in Madden, let alone in real life. So, yeah, I gotta try to take that cane and bring him in and see if he can be the guy, and we'll see. But we got a clip from our new general manager, Shane, speaking to one of the best in the biz, right, Jarrett?
Yes.
So let's show this one with Borgonzi and Miss Adams. Go ahead.
Are you pretty sure you know who you're taking?
I think we're getting closer to that decision right now. We have a few more boxes to check here over the next couple of weeks, but we're getting close.
I'm fascinated with the interview process, because I will learn a million things about you just from how engaging you are, what you're saying, how you look, what do you look to get out of let's just say, sitting with Cam Ward? What are the questions that you want answered?
Yeah, you want to get to just know the person. I guess the hardest thing to do in this business, we're all going to miss on the tape at times, but the hardest thing to do is try to predict human behavior, right? So you really want to sit down with the person, get to know them, get to know their family as well. And then, our scouts go through the school during the year, and do they love football? Do they love the process? Then once we get to the combine, we actually have a chance to sit down with the coaches. That's the first time they really get their hands on them. And to go through some X's and O's and to see if things line up to what we heard going through the school, some of their football intelligence piece, their leadership ability, how they relate to people. When we bring guys in on 30 visits, it's how they relate to everybody in the building, all the different departments. We have them sit and visit with them. How relatable are they? And that's an important part of being in the locker room.
Well, I'll tell you who checks a few boxes as well. Kay Adams definitely checks a few boxes. But
For all of us
no,
here.
I mean, listen, there's nothing that could negate their interest in this kid. You're not going anywhere and find, like, everyone in Miami has nothing but good things to say about him. The work ethic you already see. You hear his parents talk about him. He's into the game. He's into the X's and O's. You see the film. I mean, there's nowhere, unless he's just off the charts bad as far as leadership qualities when they bring him in on a visit, which I highly, highly doubt is possible. There would be no reason to not want to give this a shot, unless you genuinely think, Abdul Carter is going to give you, 4 extra wins by his edge play by himself. I mean, he would have to be, Lawrence Taylor type player to do that. But I just don't see how there'd be any reason to not do this. It's the biggest need. It's the one thing holding them back from being competent. So let's fucking do it. That's it.
Listen, I hear you, and it checks a lot what Cam Ward, what Borgonzi just said, especially even with Shedeur Sanders. They said family. We know these guys from talking to the quarterbacks coach last year. Obviously, Dion is heavily involved with Sanders, and we know firsthand from our Sick Podcast experience with Ward's family at the combine that Cam Ward's family is top notch, A1. So, but then you hear things like changing the culture. Is he team atmosphere? Is he a team guy? Can he change a locker room? Is his mindset right? You hear Mario Cristobal, Miami head coach. You hear Xavier Worthy. You see Arroyo, all talking about Cam Ward day one. Didn't know a single person on campus. Transfers from Wazoo, comes down to Miami, and literally says, "This is my team. We're gonna, and rallies the guys around them." They said they've never seen a guy like that come into a locker room, ignite the locker room on fire, and take over Miami, which Miami has been pretty bad for a couple of years before Cam Ward got there. Just because I'm a Florida State fan, you guys say anything you want. We had 2 wins this year. It was a down year, but Miami historically has been bad the last couple of seasons. So Miami, Cam Ward really turned it around for them. So obviously he's a culture fit and a culture need for our Titans.
Yeah. I really do think it's going to happen. I really do. So we'll have a lot to be excited about as the weeks transpire. But we do have one extra thing to just touch on, which I think is an awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
Awesome thing, which I think we all wanted for years. Rule change to the overtime in the regular season. No more bullshit as far as, whoever wins the coin toss. If you have 2 elite teams, you're basically guaranteed to win the freaking game. They're going to give each team a chance to get the ball, shorten it a little bit, which I think is a little, but, if you're going to give both teams a shot, and what you should do is allow the one team, if they're going to take a 10-minute drive, you should just let them win also. It's a way to counter it, but they're going to pass the rule. I'm sure you're very excited about it too, Jarett. It's the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do. It's kind of long overdue that they're changing it. But like you said, a team can literally have the ball for 8-9 minutes.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of stupid that they both possess the ball. Okay, like you all can say whatever you want. The best way to do it, if you really want to, change it to college rules.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Change it to college rules, okay? Put the ball on the 25-yard line. You get 4 downs, and you either kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball, kick a field goal, you move on to overtime 2.
Of course.
And then you got to go for 2, instead of kicking field goals. That's the best way to do it because with the 10 minutes, both teams have the ball. This can lead to ties, Sal. You're gonna be 1-1-1.
Well, I'm assuming
6-1. It's stupid.
I'm assuming it. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you've heard otherwise, I'm assuming that with this rule, if the team does take the whole 10 minutes, they're going to add another. It's going to be another overtime because you can't. I don't think you can give every team.
I think it's 10 minutes flat.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that because it wouldn't make sense at that point because then you're not giving each team possession. You're just saying if you can get them off the field within 10 minutes, you'll have a shot. But either way, you're right. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Josh Allen, Mahomes go at it from the 25 shot for shot? I mean, that is without a shadow of a doubt the most must-watch television in sports. But I'm sure they'll come around to that at some point. If the fans complain enough about something, usually you get what you want. Baseball's starting to learn a few things now, and basketball needs to follow suit. But it's a good rule. It was overdue, and I'm happy they're doing it. And it's gonna really, it's gonna make gambling a lot more interesting as well too.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have. You're gonna see a lot more overs hit now because if games go to overtime, that other teams have another possession rather than just one and done if they score a touchdown. So we'll see. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
You even with the expanded replay now. I mean, obviously they can't pick up a flag, but if they get the call wrong and they see it's not holding or it's not PI or anything, that can play good, but it also can hurt you as I don't know how they're gonna is it gonna be like a challenge? There needs to be more
I'm sure
discussions around it. Like, is it a different flag that you're challenging? You're challenging.
There's going to be more rules.
You're going to get more challenges. Yeah. So
there are going to be more things coming out, more details on that because it's pretty vague right now. Yeah. But eventually, they need to do something about it. It's the biggest sore of the game, unless you're not watching the NFL for political reasons or whatever the case may be. It's the biggest sore this league has, and it's a huge sore, is that the officiating is, without a shadow of a doubt, as bad as any pro sport in the entire world.
Yep.
It's just horrendous. They show favoritism openly. and they know nothing can be done about it at the moment. Something needs to start being done about it, because if you ruin the integrity of the game, you're going to get rid of the casual fan on any team, and that's what you need in order to grow. You got to bring those casual fans in as well. You're always going to have those diehards in your pocket. You want to go to the next level, you got to bring the casuals in, and ruining the integrity of the game is not going to help that. So need to correct that immediately. And I think they will over the next couple of years. I think referees are going to be obsolete pretty soon. There's no need for it. When you have 1,000 cameras on the field at all times, you can see all angles. You should have a referee booth that looks at every facet of the game.
There is a penalty on an NFL field every damn snap. These guys are 300 pounds. Their hands are enormous. There's holding every play. There's touching. There's grabbing of the jerseys. They tell you as a defender, when I was hold the jersey at the hip, the referee won't see it if you're striding with him. There's holding every play. It's just the blatant stuff. No. But you're sitting on a couch. Sal, you always do it. I do it. Everybody sits it. In the time of the game where if they're throwing the ball down the field and they're down by 6, it's a shot, pass interference, ball gets moved, kick the field, you score a touchdown, you win a game. That's what people are doing. That shit's got to stop too.
Yeah, and I think it will. Like I said, over the next couple of years, once there's enough talk about it, then they're gonna have no choice. And it's you correct that in whatever way that you can, and it's gonna bring in so much more revenue.
Oh yeah,
because I'm telling you, it's a tough thing for the average. I mean, even for the diehards. Like when there's favoritism in these officiating, on a regular basis, and you're almost never going to be on the right end of that. It doesn't get your excitement going on a Sunday afternoon. It really doesn't. So I think they'll correct that over time. We'll see. But I think we're going to wrap up for today. Got a great show in as always. And, I think we're going to get more information as time goes on. We said it before, Jarett, if by some crazy chance they're going to do this trade, it's going to happen very soon because you got to give yourself some time to reorder your positioning of where you're planning on being, and all that studying and research needs to be done over again because you're not where you thought you were. So it's going to happen soon if it's going to happen, I would think. But we'll make sure to be on it if it does, and on anything else Titans related as the weeks transpire leading up to late April for this draft. So anything you want to add, Jarett, before we wrap up for today, my friend?
No, I'm in talks with two guests for possibly the next 2 podcasts. We'll see what their responses are. We can work around their schedules, but they're 2 huge guests, 2 returning guests as well. And I'll be doing my final mock draft very soon, so tune into that.
Awesome. Make sure to keep an eye out on that, all our socials. And as always, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Every little bit's going to help. We're moving in the right direction again with our subscription, and every little bit helps, chat. Almost went one day without going into work mode, almost. But you guys know what I mean. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week. We'll keep you up to date on all the socials about any episodes coming up and any guests that we're going to bring on. And that's it. So hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Tighten up as always, and we'll catch you on the flip. Shane, you can send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.